I'm back. Shalom, Israel, JD Nija. Back with finishing up the run, it's a witch. Run, it's a witch. Run, it's a witch. All right.
Woe unto them who seek evil and deny your righteous way. Woe unto them who seek hatred and have nothing lovely to say. And they run,
and they run,
to keep up and not fall behind. But creation has a plan and goodness will,
and they run,
the knowledge one day. So seek him now, seek all the truth and surely.
Okay, that worked out perfect. I forgot that song said that. And they run. All right, so I'm in 1 Samuel 28, verse 15. I'll read it again. And Samuel said to Saul, this is the spirit of Samuel, said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me. And Yahweh power is departed from me, and answered me no more, neither by prophets, nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou may make known unto me what I shall do. So he's calling up the spirit of Saul. He used the witch for divination to find out what he should do because the Lord left him. What kind of maniac calls on a witch, one that has fallen into the grips of reprobatism? Reprobate means he's outside the temple. He's profane. He's in gross darkness. Then verse 16 of 1 Samuel 28, and it reads, then said Samuel, wherefore then doest thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee and is become thine enemy? So Samuel's saying, so what the hell am I supposed to do, being the Lord's not with you? What are you asking me? What could you possibly be asking me that I'm going to be able to tell you other than what the Lord's going to tell you? And you know it's not going to be good. So he's saying, are you fucking nuts? And the Lord, 17, and it reads, and the Lord has done to him as he spake by me, for the Lord Yahweh power has rent the kingdom out of your hand and given it to thy neighbor, even to David. So he's saying, it's over, Saul. I'll tell you what the Lord has on his mind. He has on his mind dropping you right off the team and putting David as captain, quarterback, and coach and king, and you're done. Is that what you wanted to hear? Because that's what the truth is. And you made Yahweh power your enemy. Now you really made him your enemy because you're dabbling in witchcraft. Verse 18, because you obeyed not the voice of Yahweh power, nor executed his fierce wrath upon Amalek, therefore has the Lord Yahweh power done this thing unto you this day. So what, I've gone into this before. It's a major story about obedience. So when Saul went up against Amalek, those are the ones that are over there in our land right now. Those are the Amalekites. And they're still here today causing us trouble because Saul didn't do what he was told. Saul was told to utterly destroy Amalek, destroy every animal, everything. Destroy everything that Amalek had. Do not take any of it. Destroy it all. And see what happens is these spirits, this is a little harder to believe, but this is part of what the witchcraft is. If you don't know how witchcraft works, it works through symbols and it works through objects also. So, and some of the animals. So some of the spirits Just like when Yahushua sent those evil spirits into those pigs that ran off the cliff. I think it was in Luke or whatever. You know the story. The swine. The evil spirit said, "Put us in the swine," and he put the evil spirit in the swine, and the swine ran off the cliff. You know. But anyhow, that's how some of these wicked spirits continue. They can go into animals, or they can go into objects. And what happened is they took some of the gold, they took some of the animals. Saul took stuff that he was supposed to destroy, right? And that's why the kingdom was taken from him. His kingship was taken because he didn't obey. He didn't obey the Lord. And that'll get you going towards witchcraft. So I'll read that again. "And the Lord has done to him as he spoke to me, for the Lord has rent the kingdom out of your hand and given it to your neighbor, even to David." When it says neighbor, that means fellow Israelite. And the reason you know that, back in the scriptures where it says love your neighbor, that means love your Israelite brothers. That doesn't mean love these Amalekites, Ishmaelites, Moabites, these other nations. It doesn't mean that. Love thy neighbor. They're not your neighbor. They're strangers. "Because you obeyed not the voice of the Lord, nor executed the wrath upon Amalek, therefore has the Lord done this thing unto you this day. Moreover, the Lord Yahweh power will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow you shall and thy sons be with me, and the Lord also shall deliver the hosts of Israel into the hands of the Philistines." So what he's saying is, your goose is cooked, Saul. You and your sons, you and Jonathan, Slacky brothers, and your other sons are going to be with me in the spirit world. Are you happy now? Are you happy now that you called me up? So now you know what's going to happen. Are you ready for that? How are you going to sleep tonight, knowing that you and your sons are going to be put to death, right? "Then Saul fell straightway all along on the earth and was sore afraid. He was rolling around on the ground like a freak because of the words of Samuel, and there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all the day nor all the night." He was fasting, but it wasn't doing him any good. "And the woman, the witch, came unto Saul and saw that he was sore troubled, and said unto him, Behold, thy handmaid has obeyed thy voice, and I have put my life in your hands, and have hearkened unto thy words which you have spoken unto me. Now therefore I pray thee, hearken thou also unto the voice of thy handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before you to eat, that you may have strength when you go your way. And he refused and said, I will not eat. But his servants, together with the woman, compelled him, and he hearkened unto their voice. So he rose from rolling around in the ground, and sat upon the bed. And the woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hastened and killed it, and took flour and kneaded it, and baked unleavened bread thereof. And she brought it before Saul and before his servants, and they did eat. Then they rose up and went away that night. So he, what do they call it? He broke bread. He broke bread with the witch. What do they call it? This word always escapes me when you, fellowship, that's it. Slakia, almost 60. He was fellowshipping with this witch. So that's that. That's the witchcraft. So if you don't believe in witchcraft and sorcery and all that, then you don't believe in the Bible. Because I just read you 2 examples of familiar spirits, sorcerers. I could pull up a bunch more. The Lord Yahushua talks about witchcraft and sorcery, and all I can say to finish this message off is the men of the Lord, we don't fall prey to witchcraft. We can see it, but we don't fall prey to it because we know how dangerous it is. And it's not only in our spirit not to follow witchcraft. The Lord Yahweh power puts it on us. The spirit is against witchcraft, and we fight against it all the time. No disrespect. My second wife was really good at witchcraft. She was good at using physical objects and mental energy. See, when you use physical objects and you put intention towards them, you can use things like one of the most common is a small box. We put say a dead battery in there. You put a picture of the person that you're doing the witchcraft. You put that person's picture face down, especially if they're looking at the camera. You put it face down, that means it's taking their vision away. You put a dead battery in there, it saps their energy. It's a dead battery. It's something dead. You put in if you ever seen the fake eyeballs that they have at Halloween, you know, that's supposed to be scary, an eyeball. You put the eyeball in there, and that eyeball will give the witch the ability to see what the person's up to in the spirit. What else would you put in a box like that? I forget all the things you could do. Part of their check stub with their name on it, especially if it has any sixes in order, things like that. Basically, that's the gist of it, I'm saying. And then you put all of that under the washer dryer, the washer, where things are being agitated. That's physical witchcraft. And she did quite a bit of that to me. So when I talk about witchcraft, I'm not talking about it as a some ethereal thing that's out there in the world. I know it's out there. It is ethereal because it's spiritual. But believe me, when I tell you, I've come up against this stuff firsthand. I've been fighting witchcraft for quite a few years now. People do it to you all the time with their words. They put spells on you. That's why they call it spelling. And if you want to go back and watch my video on subscribe and fight witchcraft, if run, it's a witch, maybe gets more clickbait. I don't know how to get clickbait. I'm just doing Bible studies. How does someone who's pushing the Lord figure out clickbait? That's a question I got for you. Now I'm ready to go on the comment board. Tell me how to get clickbait. What would you rather have me say in my titles to get you interested? I mean, if you're an Israelite or a so-called Christian, someone who loves this book and knows this book, a biblical scholar, the stuff that I'm saying would interest the heck out of you. Maybe you know someone who's into the Bible. Have them subscribe. Seriously into the Bible. I don't mean, you know, someone who's went to these cemetery schools, or these people that are up in these wicked whorehouses called churches. But anyway, that's all I got. I'm worn out trying to explain the spiritual world to people is like trying to teach a baby how to build a house. You can't do it. You can't teach it. A baby is incapable. So I would go milk messages, but boring milk messages. I gave up milk a long time ago when I found out I was an Israelite. I gave up on the milk, and then a few years ago I gave up on the fucking whorehouses, the church houses. And now knowledge is increasing, and the more knowledge I get, the further away I get from people. But the closer I get to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's the message for today. Love you, Israel. My apologies to anyone that I've offended with my brutal truth. The truth is a killer. The truth will either set you free or crush you like an ant under a steamroller. So just remember, falling is Babylon. Babylon is falling. Rising is Zion. Zion is rising. Kwam Yasharala Wa Abab Babo.